Abstentions? Motion passes. Ethics Committee. We have a chair of the Ethics Committee.
Buchanan isn't
Do we have anybody from the Ethics Committee?
Yes, Joan has a list.
Joan. Joan's not here.
Well, and Mike has a list.
I'm already here.
I have a list.
All right, Ken.
Does the list have anything to do with the Ethics Committee?
Essentially, we're proposing the same committee as last year with one addition, Alex Lelia from New Hampshire. The entire list is Roger Gottschall, Richard Buchanan, Harold Stenzel, James Gray, Kenneth Sloan, Andy Thal, Jim Manella.
Any discussion?
I have a question. Was anything brought before the ethics committee? That needs to be mentioned?
There were 4 or 5.
There is a report in the call. There were a few items brought before the ethics committee, nothing earth-shattering.
Thank you.
All in favor of that list, raise your badges. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. LMA Committee.
On behalf of the chairman, Tim Redmond, he is renominating everyone except one person on the committee who is going to be on, I think, as vice president for finance. But the members were, and it would be Jack Adamo, Frank Camerata, Steve Doyle.
Slow down, I need to type them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jack Adamo, Frank Camerata, Steve Doyle, Leroy Dubeck, Peter Dyson, Beatrice Marinello, Tim Redmond, Fred Townsend, and Chuck Unruh, all of whom had served, and we are also suggesting that we add Randy Bauer, who was on last year automatically as Vice President for Finance. The person that would be rotating off is Alan Priest, but assuming he becomes Vice President of Finance, he will still be on. So this way we will have identical committees.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, raise your badges. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We're now in we're at committee reports, audit committee,
No, we don't do
No,
bylaws committee.
We don't do committees.
we don't try not to do committee reports because a lot of them are on the delegates call.
All
Let's
right,
just go to old
unfinished
business.
business. Harold Winston, ADM 1108.
Okay, this speaks for itself. But of course, we need to hear something from the executive director or something. Whoops. Pursuant. Great, can you put it back on the screen? All right, we have this annual resolution that we've reviewed promotional memberships offered by the executive board in the last year, and we authorized their continuation. And usually we have some comments from the executive director at this point about those memberships.
You had that email? I'm searching for it.
And Mike Nolan did an email which he discussed them. Which I'm not sure I can find it.
Right, I don't have that printed out with me, so I can go off the top of my head with some of them. Obviously, we have the group memberships still continuing. That's for scholastic organizations that buy a block of at least 100, and I think we also have some participating at the 300 level. They get a reduced rate because they purchase a group membership that we send them vouchers, and then as they sign the child up to play, they go online and initiate that membership. And the vouchers are good for a certain prescribed period of time. And it cuts out administrative headaches on our side. Largely, sometimes it creates a few, but it gives a chance for programs, particularly underprivileged programs, to be able to get reduced rate memberships. You have.
I got the report kind of teeny and trying to figure out how to make it bigger.
Well, just give me the topic and I'll expand on it. Mike Nolan's report is in Vimeo too, for those that are interested. The full report.
Information. Yeah, we have the night tournament membership. The tournament membership.
Right, the tournament memberships have been in place for a long time. And there's a motion to replace that.
Yeah, there is a question though, regarding the memberships. We intend to replace them with a 3-month membership. Will the 3-month membership be promotional memberships or will it be put in the bylaw?
That's a very good question. It can be done either way. I think it's fine if you put them in the bylaws. There's a little more restrictions to them and changes to them. I would probably suggest not necessarily putting them in the bylaws at the moment, so that we can be a little more flexible if we see something's not working right with them, and we can make a change quicker and do it as a promotional membership and report back to the delegates how that went. And then if it becomes established and we're satisfied with the program solidly, then it can go into the bylaws. Since we're still kind of testing it out, the 3-month membership, I think it's probably better to leave it out of the bylaws at the moment until we see a year or two worth of data on how it's working.
Brian?
Under section 10, article 2 of the bylaw, it says that the promotional memberships are for a trial period. How long have we been running this trial?
I think it's 3 years on the group memberships. I'm not sure about the tournament memberships in various forms. It's been changed around, but
About 5 years.
5 years on the tournament memberships, and like I said, it's had several different
So
iterations.
after 5 years of trial, are we going to make these into something that's not a trial anymore?
Well, we want to, with the tournament memberships, we want to go away from the tournament membership concept altogether, go to a short membership. It would be limited only to sale for organizers at events.
Well, what about the group memberships?
Do what?
You mentioned group memberships, those have been also on trial for 5 years.
I think it's been more like three
Becomes a regular
years.
feature of our membership schedule.
We've actually modified the group membership plan several times over the
Yeah.
course of the last 2 years.
And it's gone through several iterations of modifications too, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we want to. I more see that as establishing it if we do a major remodification of the entire membership program. One of the things that I've been quietly talking about for a long time is I think we really desperately need a massive overhaul and a massive simplification. I know that's a gargantuan task coming before this body and talking about that, and I think it'll probably be a 2 or 3 year process to see if we could ever get some agreement on that. But frankly, I would like to see an adult membership, a scholastic membership, a discount for seniors, and basically that's it. You have maybe some family plans and some group plans possibly in that, but that's simplified. But you know, we have a membership system that's evolved over time based on a lot of good intentions. But the problem is, all of those little bit of good intentions have added up to a gargantuan mess. And if you go online to join the USCF, and I would bet we have at least a 2 or 3%, if not much higher, cancellation rate of people starting the process of joining kind of as a knee-jerk point of purchase decision. And they say, well, if it's this hard to join this organization, I don't know that I want to be a part of it. And that's not exactly the best image to put forward to someone that we're, having a first-time opportunity to get them to join us. So we've got to, there's certain things we can do to clean up the presentation of what we have now, but there's still some limits. And I would really like to eventually see us get to something drastically simplified, straightforward, understandable, and easy for people. We ought to make it easy to do, not a complicated decision-making process.
Point of information, please, for Jim Berry. Some of us have reached the big six, and when you reach the big six, you can't hear very well. Could we have people come to the mics and speak and also identify themselves and their state? Would that be okay?
Did you withdraw your question? You want to come to a mic, Frank?
Just curious as to whether or not this is moot, or how is it impacted by ADM 1125, which is coming up.
I think that's probably a question that's not clear on ADM 1125, whether the promotion, about the term, the 3-month memberships, whether they would be part of the bylaws or not. Is that the
Well, right now, the 3-month membership is part of 1125. We can put them in the bylaws, or we can have them in the motion. I agree with you. I think it makes more sense to have them as promotional memberships, and then, after a year, if they're successful, then maybe put them in the bylaws.
Lawrence Cohen, Illinois. Call the question.
Oh, yeah, delegate approval, continuing. That's the motion on the floor, correct?
Correct.
I know it's ADM 1108.
You want to talk about JTC, Bill?
Is there any objection to calling the question?
One question.
There's an objection to calling the question. All those in favor of calling the question, raise your badges. All those opposed, wanting more discussion, raise your badges.
Clearly not the chairs.
So we continue the discussion.
Yeah.
Open for questions. Richard.
Gerald Larson.
Gerald Larson.
From Alabama. How many group memberships have we sold in the last year?
It's dropped off a fair amount. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was, you have that handy?
Yeah.
I think it was less than 1,000. It might have been just over 1,000.
During 2010-11, can everybody hear me? We issued 21 sets of vouchers, totaling 2,229 individual vouchers, of which 1,940 have been redeemed so far.
So 9.
That's actually up from 2009-2010, when we issued 1,923 vouchers, of which 1,542 were redeemed. So it's actually up.
So this is a growing thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I call for the orders of the day. The agenda calls for adjournment at noon.
Shouldn't we finish this motion?
The agenda calls for adjournment at June. That should be it.
My watch says 11:59. I'd like to ask my question, please.
Jennifer from Michigan.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman, he called for the orders of the day.
Therefore,
2/3 vote by the Assembly to suspend the rules to continue past the time set for adjournment.
You mean recess and not adjournment, I assume.
she says 11:59, so we're going to let her talk.
Thank you very much. I actually, I couldn't see the website back there, so I was wondering if you can make it a little bit bigger on the screen so I can type in the address.
I'm still trying to figure out.
Just make your browser bigger. That was my question. That was one of my questions. Another question was, I actually, I've heard of the group membership, but I didn't know how to purchase it. So I think that we need to do a much better job of publicizing this if it's a growing program. And I think that that's been my comment about most of the things that go on here, is that there needs to be greater transparency, availability of information, that sort of thing. And I would also like to know whether or not these are regular memberships, and meaning that the person who accepts the promotional membership is given all the rights and privileges of the U.S. Chess Organization. And I feel that the motion in the ADM provides very little information as to what this is. So if you would address that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's see, I think there were three questions. The main thing is we don't necessarily want to widely promote this yet until we really have a good sense of, is this costing us money or making us money? Is this bringing us more members, or is it just getting us members that we would have had and we're getting them at a lower rate? We have some initial data there that I think we're getting more members because of it. There's certain pockets where it's helped, but also if you make it widely available, widely publicized, it could have a negative effect on revenue. So it's a delicate thing, and that's why I've been hesitant to get too wide with the promotion.
Okay, let's adjourn for the awards banquet.
Let's pass this motion or something first.
Mike?
Technically, we recess for the awards banquet.
Please vote on this motion.
Can we vote on the motion?
Okay, motion. Motion is, what number?
1108.
1108.
1108.
Your badges, raised in favor, raised opposed, abstained, motion passes. We are now adjourning.
No, we are recessing until what time?